Copenhaver's Hermetica, Chapter 12, Discourse of Hermes Trismegistus, on the mind shared in common to Tat. Mind, O Tat, comes from the very essence of God, if in fact God has any essence, and God alone knows exactly what that essence might be. Mind, then, has not been cut off from God's essentiality. It has expanded, as it were, like the light of the sun. In humans, this mind is God. Among humans, therefore, some are gods, and their humanity is near to divinity. For the good demon has said that gods are immortal humans, and humans are mortal gods. In animals without reason, however, there is natural impulse. Where soul is, there is also mind, just as there is soul wherever life is. But the soul is unreasoning animals, is life devoid of mind. Mind is a benefactor of human souls. It works on them for good. In things without reason, mind assists the natural impulse arising from each, but it opposes this impulse in human souls. Every soul, as soon as it has come to be in the body, is depraved by pain and pleasure. For in a composite body, pain and pleasure seethe like juices. Once immersed in them, the soul drowns. Mind displays its own splendor to these souls that it commands, and it opposes their predilections. As a good physician, using the cautery and the knife, causes pain to the body overtaken by disease, in the same way mind causes pain to the soul, withdrawing it from the pleasure that gives rise to every disease of the soul. A great disease of the soul is godlessness, and next is mere opinion. From them follows all evils, and nothing good. Therefore the mind that opposes this disease secures good for the soul, just as the physician secures health for the body. But those human souls that do not have mind as a guide are affected in the same way as souls of animals without reason. When mind connives with them and gives way to longings, the rush of appetite drives such souls to the longings that lead to unreason, and, like animals without reason, they never cease their irrational anger and irrational longing, and they never have enough of evil. For angers and longings are irrational vices that exceed all limits. God has imposed the law upon these souls as a torment and a reproof. In that case, Father, the discourse about fate that I have heard, finished earlier, would seem to be contradicted. If it is absolutely fated for some individual to commit adultery or sacrilege or to do some evil, how is such a person still to be punished when he has acted under compulsion of fate? Everything is an act of fate, my child, and outside of it nothing exists among bodily entities. Neither good nor evil comes to be by chance. Even one who has done something fine is fated to be affected by it, and this is why he does it, in order to be affected by what affects him, because he has done it. Now is not the time for a discourse about vice or fate. We have spoken on these topics elsewhere. Now our discourse is about mind, what mind can do and how it admits of difference. In humans, mind is one thing, but it is another in unreasoning animals. Moreover, in other living creatures, mind is not beneficent. As it quells anger and longing, it acts differently in each individual, and one must understand that some of these are men who possess reason, and that others are without it. But all people are subject to fate and also to birth and change, which are the beginning and the end of fate. And what is fated affects all people. Yet those who possess reason, whom, as we have said, mind commands, are not affected as others are. Since they have been freed from vice, they are not affected as a consequence of being evil. Again, Father, what do you mean? The adulterer is not evil? The murderer is not evil? And all the rest of them? One who has reason will not be affected because he has committed adultery, my child, but as if he had done so, nor will he be affected because he has murdered, but as if he had murdered. It is not possible to escape the quality of change any more than of birth, though it is though it is possible for one who has mind to escape vice. Thus I have always heard the good demon say it would have been most useful to humankind if he had given it out in writing, he alone, my child, because he looked down on everything as the firstborn God, has truly given voice to divine discourses. Once, at any rate, I heard him say that all things are one, especially the intellectual bodies, that we live in power and in energy and in eternity. Also that the mind of eternity is good, and that its soul is good as well. This being so, there is nothing dimensional among intellectual beings, and thus, since mind rules all and is the soul of God, mind can do as it wishes. You must understand then and apply this discourse to the question that you asked me before, the one about fate and mind, I mean. For if you carefully avoid contentious discourse, my child, you will find that mind, the soul of God, truly prevails over all, over fate and law and all else, and nothing is impossible for mind, neither setting a human soul above fate, nor, if it happens that a soul is careless, setting it beneath fate. These were the finest things that the good demon said about such matters. Divinely said, my father, and truly and usefully. But make it even plainer to me. You have said that mind acts in a manner of natural impulse in animals without reason, conniving with their instincts, but the instincts of unreasoning animals are passions, I believe. If mind assists these instincts, and instincts are passion, is mind also a passion, since it is in defiling contact with passions? Well said, child, an excellent question, and one I ought to answer. All embodied incorporeals are affected by passions, my child, and passions they are rightly called. Every mover is incorporeal, but not everything moved is body. Incorporeals are also moved by mind. Movement is passion, however, and so both are affected, the mover and the moved, one ruling, the other ruled. If there is release from the body, there is also release from passion. Yet one might better say that nothing is free from passion, my child, and that everything is affected by it. But there is a difference between passion and what is affected by passion. One is active and the other passive. Even bodies act of themselves. However, they are either unmoved or moved, and here is passion in either case. The incorporeals are always acted upon, which is why they are affected by passion. Do not let this terminology disturb you. Action and passion are identical, but it does no harm to use the more auspicious name. You have delivered the discourse very plainly, Father. Notice this also, my child, that to mankind, but not to any other mortal animal, God has granted these two things, mind and reasoned speech, which are worth as much as immortality. Mankind also has the speech that he utters. If one uses these gifts as he should, nothing will distinguish him from the immortals. Instead, when he has left the body, both these gifts will guide him to the troop of the gods and the blessed. The other living things, my father, do they not use speech? No, child, they only use voice, and speech differs greatly from voice. Speech is common to all people, but each kind of living thing has its own voice. Even among humans, my father, does speech not differ for each nation? It is different, my child, but humanity is one, therefore speech is also one, and when translated it is found to be the same in Egypt and Persia as in Greece. My child, you seem to me to be ignorant of the excellence and importance of speech. The blessed God, the good demon, has said that soul is in the body, that mind is in the soul, that reasoned speech is in the mind, and that God is their Father. Reasoned speech, then, is the image and mind of God, as the body is the image of the idea, and the idea is the image of the soul. Thus the finest of matter is air, the finest air is soul, the finest soul is mind, and the finest mind is God. And God surrounds everything and permeates everything, while mind surrounds soul, soul surrounds air, and air surrounds matter. Necessity, providence, and nature are instruments of the cosmos and the order of matter. Each of the intellectual beings is an essence, and their essence is identity, but each of the bodies in the universe is multiple. Since composite bodies have their identity in always causing one body to change to another, they preserve the incorruptibility of identity. Otherwise, for all composite bodies, there is a number belonging to each. For without number, neither association nor composition nor dissolution can occur. The Haenads, Henads, give birth to number, increase it, and take it back to themselves after it has been dissolved, and yet the matter is one. This entire cosmos, a great God and an image of a greater united with God and helping preserve the Father's will and order, is a plenitude of life, and throughout the whole recurrence of eternity that comes from the Father, there is nothing in the cosmos that does not live, neither in the whole of it nor in its parts. For there never was any dead thing in the cosmos. For there never was any dead thing in the cosmos, nor is there, nor will there be. The Father wished it to be alive as long as it holds together, and so it was necessary for the cosmos to be God. How then, my child, can there be dead things in God, in the image of all, in the plenitude of life? For deadness is corruption, and corruption is destruction. How can any part of the incorruptible be corrupted, or anything of God be destroyed? The things that live in the cosmos, Father, though they are parts of it, do they not die? Hold your tongue, child. The terminology of becoming leads you astray. They do not die, my child. As composite bodies, they are only dissolved. Dissolution is not death, but the dissolution of an alloy. They are dissolved, not to be destroyed, but to become anew. And what is the energy of life? Is it not motion? In the cosmos, then, what is motionless? Nothing, my child. Does the earth not seem motionless to you, Father? No, child. It is the only thing that is full of motion and also stationary. Would it not be quite absurd if the nurse of all were motionless, she who begets everything and gives birth to it? For without motion the begetter cannot beget anything. It is most absurd to ask if the fourth part is idle. That a body is motionless can signify nothing but being idle. Therefore, my child, you should know that everywhere in the cosmos everything is moved, either by decrease or by increase. What is moved also lives, but not everything that lives needs stay the same. Taken as a whole, my child, the entire cosmos is free from change, but its parts are all subject to change. Nothing, however, is corruptible or destroyed, terms that disturb human beings. Life is not birth, but awareness, and change is forgetting, not death. Since this is so, all are immortal, matter, life, spirit, soul, mind, of which every living thing is constituted. Through mind, then, every living thing is immortal, but most of all mankind, who is capable of receiving God and fit to keep company with him. With this living thing alone does God converse, at night through dreams, and through omens by day, and through all of them he foretells the future, through birds, through entrails, through inspiration, through the oak tree, whereby mankind also professes to know what has been, what is at hand, and what will be. And notice this, my child, that each living thing frequents one part of the cosmos, water for those that live in water, earth for those that dwell on land, air for those that float above. But mankind uses them all, earth, water, air, fire. He even sees heaven, which he grasps by sensing it. And God, who is energy and power, surrounds everything and permeates everything, and understanding of God is nothing difficult, my child. If you wish also to gaze upon him, look at the order of the cosmos and the careful arrangement of this order. Look at the necessity of the heavenly phenomena and the providence in what has come to be and what comes to be. Look at matter, completely full of life, and a great God moving along with all beings good and fair, gods and demons and humans. But these are energies, Father. If they are entirely energies, my child, by whom are they energized? By anyone other than God? Or do you not know that, just as parts of the cosmos are heaven, water, earth, and air, likewise the limbs of God are life, immortality, fate, necessity, providence, nature, soul, and mind, and that the permanence of them all is called by God? Called by the good? Called the good. In what comes to be and what has come to be, there is nothing where God is not, nothing beyond him. Is he in matter then, Father? If matter is apart from God, my son, what sort of place would you allot it to? If it is not energized, do you suppose it is anything but a heap? But who energizes it if it is energized? We have said that the energies are parts of God. By whom, then, are all living things made alive? By whom are immortals made immortal? Things subject to change, but by whom are they changed? Whether you say matter or body or essence, know that these also are energies of God, and that materiality is the energy of matter, corporeality is the energy of bodies, and essentiality is the energy of essence. And this is God, the All. But in the All there is nothing that he is not. Hence neither magnitude, nor place, nor quality, nor figure, nor time has any bearing on God. For God is all, and the All permeates everything and surrounds everything. Show this discourse reverence, my child, and keep it religiously. There is but one religion of God, and that is not to be evil. End of chapter 12.